And we are back. First things first, I actually need to change the title. This is episode 5 and it's a live trading session 05. Trading. Boom. Save. Just how we like it. Volume looks sound. Perfect. Live analysis. Here we are. I'm in. We're in. Right, so currently I am looking at the US dollar to the Japanese yen as it is producing some pretty nice structure. I was looking at a trade this morning. If we go on the 1 minute, just a mitigation and continuation, and then once we displaced, we just look for a tap into this zone, which we've got the perfect tap to run 5 to 1. However, it just ran partial at 2.5 to 1, where SL would have been moved to entry and then price fell through, which in my eyes is going to be a wider scheme retracement, hopefully down to this demand zone. Hard to tell because that is the gap in the market from market open, so I don't know exactly what price action we've had in that region, but if not, could potentially see price fall all the way down here or all the way to the bottom. So just need to see how price reacts. Looking at the trade we were trying to take last week, I don't know which day it was, but that would have actually played out as a 30 to 1 and the take profit would have been hit. So if you go and check back, I think it was the second or the third session we did, potentially a third, where we were staying on the dollar yen, and I showed us exactly how we could have got involved in that, and it's ran to 30 to 1. After partials, if you took the same partials that we would have been looking at, 12.75 RR, so either 25.5% or 12.75. Lovely trade on US dollar yen. Yeah, it was gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. One worry I do have is because I can't identify the exact last sell to buy. I don't know whether this is tapped or not. If we go to a more fractal time frame, price is beginning to start producing some bullish structure. So I'm just going to let price play. Wait until it at least surpasses this level, 130.87, and then we'll react from there. Euro US fell through that zone. So we're going to watch for it to come all the way back down. Somewhere inside this entire last sell to buy. This is the more refined zone, so we can set alerts. Well, realistically that's the last buy, sell to buy. So it's going to be 05136. Wow, got some nature sound in the background as well. Love it. What the market, pound dollar, I don't think I've actually analysed this one just because of how vile the price action currently is. Obviously we've had these displacements, so going long now would be ideal. This has an impulsive wave. Look inside of the impulsive wave and ask ourselves where we'd like to see mitigated. Definitely this region. As a demand. Let's go down to a lower time frame again, and argue that potentially even this region. Well, actually, that candle may come back down to it. Okay, I think these are the two valid zones, although it appears price is about to blow through this. So does anybody have any questions or any markets for me to take a look at? Let's get our alerts set on this at 22936. Get them set. This market, I don't even want to look at it. Looks that horrible. Pound yen again, yeah, very similar to what we have been seeing. Or we potentially see the mitigation of this. That is the real question. Definitely an area in the market that I would want to see mitigated. So we'll keep an eye out. Get an alert here also, 162.7. So still a while away from that, but no need to be too aggressive on the market. And what was the market we were looking at the other day? Euro Australian, I believe. That went to hit take profit as well, from the analysis I did on the Sunday sessions. We ran all the way. It's very nice on that. Now, how can we look to get involved moving forward? We have that candle, or we could see a further retracement down to, I mean, that's definitely a valid region. If not, we also have this. So we get rid of that. We can get our alerts set at these now. Please analyze the Nasdaq and the US 30. We can take a look at those. I've done those, I think, each stream actually, the past few streams we've done. I know people really enjoy seeing those ones get analysed for some reason. Although I don't think this is the market we chose to analyse it on. Let's have a look. No, it does appear so. So running through the analysis, obviously we have started a bearish trend. We have broken what should have been a protected low, so we've displaced the bullishness in the market right at that point. Displacement. Since then we've had an initial impulsive wave down. The impulsive wave then reverses, reacts, takes the next leg lower. After we have that break of structure, this is the new recent impulsive wave, which is still going on evidently, and then inside of that we have two zones I have identified in here, which act as last buys to sells, which ideally would like to see price traders back up into to mitigate and then try and find a reversal, some Wyckoff, in order to get an entry in one of those regions. Moving down to price more recently, you see that this move is quite nice for mitigation because it blows through a lot of liquidity. I would have thought the price would react to some of this in this last buy to sell, but it pushed through, so clear institutional control throughout this candle. So if we can get enough demand in the market, it would definitely be nice to see price traders back up to mitigate something within that region. Obviously that is a very refined point of interest, but you can argue that anywhere within this entire last buy to sell needs a mitigation before going largely lower, although it seems like there's a lot of supply in the market, so price is still moving down with heavy bearish pressure. I'm not sure, I've never tried to scalp this market. I'm not sure how well it follows. could definitely argue that price may want to reverse something in here. If not, something up here. So if we want some short-term sells, we could argue that price will react to one of the two there before going lower. So we can leave those and come back to it at some point. In terms of the US 30, this is obviously very similar again. We were looking for sell positions because obviously, as the previous ones have also been, this one is bearish. We've been identifying all of the impulsive waves lower and trying to find points of interest in which price is reacting to. So we had quite a nice distribution here that came to mitigate this higher zone. And then we have two positions that I was waiting for a mitigation of. You can see price just about blows through this zone, but because of the volume that's introduced here, it appears that price more than likely, there was something that went on fundamentally that drove price up, so it wasn't able to quite react to this. It blew through. We had a liquidity sweep, and price has since moved lower. It's put in a new impulsive wave again. So potentially, like the analysis on the previous market, we find a supply zone somewhere inside of this last buy to sell, and then we see price retrace back up, hoping to get an entry to take price lower. Although if you wanted to be a day trader, I probably wouldn't advise personally trading the US 100, the US 30. I feel like you get much better volatility, much better opportunities trading your major currency pairs. So let's go back to the dollar yen, see what we're doing in here. Not too volatile. There are no major fundamentals to come. There is something at 2 p.m. So NPC member Saunders speaks from Great Britain, which is affecting the Great British Pound. Due to speak at an event hosted by the Resolution Foundation and the Money, Macro and Finance Society. Audience questions are to be expected. So that's at 2 p.m. So potentially through that meeting, conference, whatever it may be, event, he may start to reveal subtle clues, which gives an insight into the future of monetary policy, and that has the opportunity to then bring financial confidence or financial worry into the market. So it doesn't seem like that had a major effect though. Looking in the markets, if we actually look at any of the pound based things at around 2 p.m, maybe some downside volatility, but nothing too major. Hopefully this will help us in the scheme of putting in that larger scheme correctional wave, so we'll keep an eye out on that one. But for the rest of the day, we don't really have any more fundamentals that I believe will have much of an effect. We will find out. Okay, any other markets people are curious about or would like to see get analysed, please let us know. At the moment, we're literally now just waiting for alerts to tap. Nothing too exciting. Let's have a look back on oil. I haven't looked at this one in a while, just because it's been disregarding a lot of the analysis. However, I guess if we really wanted to, for argument's sake, we could have refined the zone and argue we're only just getting a mitigation, clearing all of this liquidity. So let's watch this for displacements. Yeah, that's still the protected low, so just waiting for that one. How have Luke's trades played out? pound to Australian dollar and gold to US dollar. We'll go and check the precise entries on those. So we'll check gold first. I see somebody else wanted us to actually take a look through gold. To display, so this point is no longer relevant. So it was a buy on gold at 1858.7. So 1858.7 right there. We'll go down to a lower time frame. Stop loss at 55.25. A nice refined stop. Like so. Take profit is 1908, so we'll just type that one in. Profit level 1908. So 14 to 1 or a 1 to 14. Okay, yeah, so trading that up to a previous high. So we're currently looking at with a stop of 34 pips. It is currently holding in 115, so that is obviously about 3, just above 3 are our returns. So 6 to 7% on gold. I need to get the last price line back on so we can see the exact. Yeah, so exactly 113 pips, I believe. It does appear that in this move lower, price has struggled to set in a new low there, so it doesn't appear that there's anywhere needing to be mitigated higher. Potentially this zone or this, but we can keep an eye. And we'll have to have a look as well at the Great British Pound to the Australian dollar. Just doing a little bit of analysis here. Price does actually tap into last buy. Okay. So Great British Pound, Australian dollar. Let's go check that one. Find the precise entry point again. 17563. And go check that at around 10.50. Okay, what's the date? 9th. I believe it was somewhere inside of this. Yeah, 10.50, so 17563, and it was also a buy. Right there. Stop at 7535. Right there. Take profit much higher, so we'll have to type this one in again. 18097. Perfect. So obviously this again, how's this one playing out? This one's also in profit as of right now with a 27 pip stop. It's running 1.5 RR, so 3%. However, its peak was running nearly 4 RR, so nearly 8%. So in total, at their peaks, you're looking at about 14-15% returns. So very good indeed for a Monday morning. Let's just see any updates. Let's have a look. Okay, so I believe he's moved SL to entry, so we will move it like that, like so, and then we can watch how it plays out, and we can come back to that. But yeah, that is it as of current. So the browse back through these markets to see what's happening. Dollar yen continuing to trade higher. We need to see exactly what's happening with that. Pound dollar is trading us down, so hopefully find the mitigation there. Bitcoin as well, an update to anybody who's been watching these. That has fallen through the point of interest, so it doesn't look very promising for Bitcoin to remain bullish for the foreseeable future, so there is that. The UK 100, another market I haven't really watched. Protected high here, which is literally just being held. So clearly a large level of supply or resistance that is continually pushing price back down each time we come to tap. But we are heavily squeezed within this region where it seems like price is reacting to a lot. But at the moment, really just hoping for some more volatility on the majors. Not many opportunities here. I do quite like the looks of this. Price now distributing, so I'm curious to see if we react here or actually react to the zone lower. But we shall find out. Again, any questions, any markets you want me to take a look at, make sure to let us know and we can actually go through those and see what our outlook is on them. Could you take a look at Euro USD if you haven't already? We're going to take a look through this market. So, following recent price, longer term, it lets me zoom out rather than lagging. It would be nice to see price eventually trade us back up into one of these regions. Obviously, we've had this entire move here as a wider scheme, impulsive wave lower, and it seems like we're getting a lot of rejection in this region down here. So this is either going to be an accumulation or a redistribution. Obviously, if it's redistribution, we want to see this final target get met to provide us with the knowledge that we are continually trading down bearish. If so, we know it's a redistribution. If not, and we do actually start making some displacements to the upside, we know we're more than likely putting in a correctional wave, which may potentially end somewhere within these regions I've identified, all of which are refined zones. The idea being that they lie within higher time frame points or last buys to sell, but then we've just gone down to a lower time frame to look deeper into the structure and decide exactly where price has reacted, exactly which point in the market is relevant to us. So those are the refined points and these are the less refined ones. But yeah, ideally just hoping to see price either surpass this final target or ultimately surpass this low. So we can just leave that dotted line there with the assumption that price is either going to pass that and we can start looking to go bearish longer term, or we're going to start seeing displacements of these highs, at which point we can say that ideally we want to see price then trade us up into one of these zones where we can find sells from. So that is just working within our overall bias, understanding the supply and demand balance in the market to determine what its next move is likely to be. But just looking at this, as we stated, this could easily be an accumulation. So if we were to look at it that way and actually view it as an accumulation, we could say that this right here is a spring, because this is the move that really wipes out all liquidity with high volume. We could arguably say that we've had the test of the spring, or the mitigation of the spring, which has perfectly come down to tap that zone. Since then, we've obviously had reaction, reversal, a smaller time frame or more fractal accumulation, which has then taken price higher, and we potentially will see then price start displacing and running at liquidity highs. If that's the case, where can we then decide to get in long positions from? Well, that's probably just going to be price coming back down to re-mitigate this accumulation here. This is obviously the last sell to buy before we introduce all that volatility, so arguably trying to find price tap us down into this region and then finding some buy positions from there, and that is just following the overall bias. But like we said, if price decided that it wanted to start running these lows, we may then decide that it is actually a redistribution and we want to look for sells lower, but I think it's more likely that it is an accumulation that we want to go long. But with the way that Euro USD can be at times, it's very arbitrary, so just looking at both sides of the market constantly and reminding ourselves of different points in the market that could hold relevance in terms of reversal power. Again, if there's any questions, make sure to send them through. Any questions about the analysis, the way we're trading, anything like that. As of currently, we're pretty much just waiting for any alerts that we have set to be pinged in order to get involved in a trade. I'm not trying to be aggressive with anything, just letting price deliver to us. I do, however, want to try and look at what price is doing in this market, which we will keep on and keep an eye on. How long have you been trading smart money concepts? Actually trading smart money concepts, I think I first got on to the conceptualizations around about 14 months ago is when I really started to learn. So within those 14 months, I would say probably like the first 5 to 6 were pretty much all just research and practice, and then sort of, I don't know how much longer after that, a good few months on a demo account and back testing, trying to involve that strategy into my day-to-day trading. Obviously I've been involved with trading now for coming up to 2 years, so there is a good few months spent outside of smart money concepts, but specifically on smart money concepts, I'd say about 14 months. I'd say I spent the first 6 months just learning, a lot of research into Wyckoff and the other concepts that come along with that. And I think, honestly, I wrote a lot of mini essays for myself, made lots of content for myself to learn, and put a lot of time and effort into it. So anybody that is coming into it, be prepared to spend a year, up to a year, just learning before you can even see profits. And don't be off put if you don't see instant profits. As I stated, it can honestly be an entire year until anything promising comes your way. But stick it out and keep working towards it. So how about you, Kevin? Are you looking to trade smart money concepts? Is that something you have an interest in? Are you currently a technical trader? Do you trade at all? Or are you new to the scheme? So make sure to let me know. As of right now, dollar yen displaced the high, so we are continuing bullish. It appears that what has happened in this region, sorry, my eye is really itchy at the moment. It seems like this entire move should have been highlighted. I tried to refine it, potentially a bit too much, just because we couldn't see the exact price action that caused it, but potentially the way that price is going, I don't know why that alert's there, it doesn't actually hold relevance there. It seems like we've probably already had a tap or a mitigation of whatever was in this region, and we have introduced quite a lot of demand. Actually, I remember why that was there, because that is arguably the last protected high. So now we've had that overall displacement, and that is actually the criteria I wanted to enable me to start looking at longs, or start trading them, not looking at them. So we can highlight this. Perfect. Well, I've been trading smart money concepts for a year now, just order blocks and supply and demand, but I'm not really seeing any profits. Trying to learn how you analyze the market, because I use just the higher time frames, but I'd love to trade on small time. Yeah. So the reason why you're probably having difficulties if you just stick into the higher time frames is because trades can take a while to play out, and smart money concepts, it's never straightforward. As you can see straight away, example on your screen, there's so many different things price can do. Price can just continue higher, as we did here, not even follow the points of interest we're looking at. So price may do this, we may sort of just see some consolidation and it may continue higher, in which case it doesn't provide us with any long opportunities. We may then also see price sort of make some displacements, trade us into this and then go higher, or we may see price trade us lower, blow through that zone, go into this zone, go higher, or we may see price disregard all of that completely. Now, because there are so many different things we can do, or that price can do, we're constantly working on a different, we have one set bias, but we're looking at different ways to tackle it. And because we're on the lower time frames, we can afford to place multiple trades, have a few of them be wrong and have that right trade play out at a 10 RR. But when you're on the higher time frames, it could be a case that for all of these possibilities to play out, we're waiting weeks. And it may turn out that for 3 weeks straight, you're losing because price is still not fulfilling the overall bias that it needs to. And then on that 4th week, you're profitable. But I know the smaller time frames can seem intimidating, but just do the exact same thing you do now on the higher time frames, but just slowly work your way down. So for example, if we just go to a random market, US dollar, Australian dollar, I don't think I've ever traded this. Okay, no wonder. Let's go. What is a nice volatile market? I don't think I've traded this one in a while. So if you're saying you always use the higher time frames and you came to analyze this, for example, we can see you've got clear bullish structure, this being the high set. So this right here is our impulsive wave. You can start to look inside of that and argue that, okay, we have a last sell to buy in here with some slight inefficiency above, so we know that price definitely or more than likely hasn't mitigated this region. Move this across. Potentially that's a tap. Let me just go further down to see if we have properly identified. Okay, that is the proper identification. We see price, not full mitigation, but a potential tap there. We'll just have to see how price reacts. So that's what we have. We have the impulsive wave up. Point of interest that price has potentially tapped us into. Now in the more fractal scheme of things, this is a protected high. So following the bullishness, the bearishness of this impulsive wave lower, we've had high set, low, high, low, a high, a low, a high, and then this is low it's created. This should have been a protected high. Price comes to blow through this. However, in the higher time frame scheme of things, this is actually the protected high, so we want to see this get broken before longer term we know that we are bullish. However, if price was to reverse in this region, we would have liked it to react to this supply zone, which it seems like it has blown through. So arguably, we may say, okay, let's take the assumption that price has mitigated this point, even though it's not a full deep mitigation. And let's say that price is ready to start trading higher. We could then potentially highlight some zones here, some demand zones, but as I state, because we're on such a high time frame, it's going to be so long until price plays out. So let's make the assumption that as of right now, price is at least going to be bearish to this point. So if we go lower, we can assume that price is going to continue these moves lower until it at least reaches this point. So let's go inside of this and look at where we have any positions that price may want to react to. Let's go to the 1 hour to see if we can get involved on anything recently. I like the idea of this zone as a POI. This also looks unmitigated. That's two zones right there that price could potentially react to. We'll have to see exactly what price does, because it seems like we've had price sort of tap at the same region. So we could argue, is it wanting to protect these highs anymore, or is it ready to displace and go higher? For example, to carry on with the point I make, we could then go lower again and say, right, we've had a displacement. Potentially we now see price react to this candle right here, which is the last sell to buy. Go lower again just to confirm that. Definitely does look nice. That is a more refined point, although it could be anywhere within the last sell to buy. So arguably somewhere in this region, the upper region being the one that I prefer. So this would have been an impulsive wave higher. That's the point of interest we're looking at. Probably would have also looked at this as a POI, but we already know that price has disregarded that. And then if we wanted to go even more fractal, we could say, okay, we want to now get involved in this bearishness, so we could then take the previous impulsive wave again, take a point of interest, see if price reacts, look to go short. So don't try and make time frames this amazing thing that is relevant. Your analysis can be performed on any time frame at all. Just use your analysis strategy, which for me is a 3-box strategy, which I find extremely easy to use, just as it helps us keep track of what we're doing, helps us to keep highlighting the current trend that we're in. And as I said, you've just seen me go down the time frames from I believe we started on the weekly down to the 15-second, and that I've done exactly just that. Used a 3-box strategy each time we've gone down to understand how we can be involved in the market both long, medium and short term. So if you have any questions about that, Kevin, make sure to let me know. I can potentially run back over anything. Be also interested in see if price reacts to this zone, as it would help the point I was making. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So, Kevin, if you check out our YouTube, there are many videos I've made about all of Smart Money concepts. Check them out. The Learn to Trade series. If you go into the playlist, you'll find them. There's a great one called the 3-box strategy. I'd definitely take a look at that one to get an idea of what my analysis technique is. Also, just looking back at the screen now, you'll see that all I did there was did my 3-box strategy, identified impulsive wave, point of interest, and it seems like price may be reacting, and it's done so on the 15 seconds, so that is a trading opportunity potentially. On the 15 second, I'd probably want a displacement first before it confirmed to me that we have gone bearish, so it's not confirmed yet, but it can literally just be that simple. Performing the 3-box strategy, having price react, seeing the displacement, getting involved, and we can have those opportunities. So like each impulsive wave, that's 239. Yeah, every 6 to 10 minutes we can have different trading opportunities. However, trading the 5 and 15 second is extremely difficult because finding entry confirmation is much harder, and we need to confirm that with a higher time frame. Perfect, Kevin. Also in the description of this we have the Learning Lounge. I'm not sure if that's something you'd be interested in, but it's a free Telegram group chat where we post daily fundamental analysis, chart analysis, potential entry points, fundamental news, any updates on the business that are relevant. So make sure to get in there if you're interested on taking your game to the next level, or if you're just more interested in my strategy, make sure to message me personally on Telegram. That is my @ on Telegram, or you can add my, give me 1 minute, or you can add me on Telegram using my number, and just send me a message if you have any issues, or potentially even look to schedule a call to help you sort of boost your trading career. So we've just been pinged on dollar yen. Let's go and take a look at what's happening there. Price has tapped into a little zone we had marked out. So what we need here is a displacement of this high for confirmation, and then if we get displacement of that, we could look to take a trade like this. Appears like we've had just that. So we could look to put a stop loss, counting for spreads, 130.76. Looking to partial at this level at 130.892. So let's just set an alert on that for the partial, and we can change that again to that, with an overall take. If we now zoom out, our overall take profit could arguably be all the way up if it lets me do it rather than highlighting the partial. No, it wants to be a pain, doesn't it? We can just set that at, if we get the point 131.345, there we have, perfect. So as of right there, it's an 11 to 1. That is something I personally am looking at. Although it may not play out, as we said, because we've got an arbitrary situation. It doesn't have to play out here. Price could be ready to continue trading lower because we have another demand zone lower that may potentially need mitigating. So that's why we're looking to partial in this region to secure profits. But again, with the smart money concept strategy, we have to be prepared to take 1 or 2 losses before the full bias actually plays out. Kevin, just joined the channel on Telegram. I will text you if I need your help. Thanks once again. No problem, Kevin. Yeah, enjoy the Learning Lounge, and as I stated, yeah, if you need any question, if you've got any questions that need answering, feel free to message me or Luke. Usually be able to tell. A good thing that we do have is any chart analysis that has a black or a dark grey background is always Luke's analysis, and then anything with a white background is always my analysis. So just keeping an eye on this market now. So we've got a very potential trade that may play out here, but as I stated, it could just be a case, because we're looking very fractally, that price wants to do a larger scheme retracement down into one of these zones, which is still likely. It would be nice to see price displace this high just to confirm, or further confirm, that a reversal may be likely, which it seems like price may be willing to do. It appears price is now playing out quite nicely on this trade. We've had this not displacement break of structure, just to further confirm that we are having some shorter term bullishness. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays, but regardless, we can sort of let that go. We've got our alert now set at our partial point, so we don't really need to stare or worry about it. We can just let price do its thing. We can also have one at our stop loss, which is 130.76, and we can just say SL hit. Okay, so these markets don't appear to be doing anything much. Pound dollar slowly trading us down into this potential point of interest, which we may see it react to. We were also looking at euro to Australian. Take a look at what's going on here. Price never reacted to our POI and seems to have made displacements higher, so potentially a reversal going. But because this is so refined, arguably the actual last sell to buy is this entire region, so we can argue that price has still mitigated the last sell to buy. We have just tried to refine that zone quite tightly. If there's anybody new in here, make sure to say hello. Make sure to ask any questions that you may have. I just prefer to greet everybody formally who enters that we haven't seen here before. We can get an idea of who you are, how you trade, and then we can look to answer any questions you have, or potentially help you if there's any difficulties you are facing within your trading career. And make sure you all vote on the poll that we have. It should be pinned in the chat. So let us know how you're finding the stream. Also, if anybody has any markets that you would like us to take a look at, feel free to let us know. As you can see what's happening here with the dollar yen, we could be correct in saying that Yes, price may have continued the fractal bullishness that we were seeing, which is very valid for us to try to get involved with. However, it may be the case that price is now wanting to start displacing the lows, give us a wider correctional wave, which could then come down to mitigate position down here, or potentially even lower. It's not unusual for us to see that. It just means that price is running out of demand. Supply is starting to enter the market. There's no longer enough demand left over for price to actually reverse in this region, and therefore they need to build more liquidity and make a move lower again in order to introduce enough demand to continue with the overall trend. Yeah, there we go on dollar yen. It's fallen through. Which is absolutely fine. As we stated, it's not that it's gone against our bias at all. The great thing with this strategy is that we have a range of biases, because we understand that price can react to many different points of interest on many different time frames within many different structural advances. So we'll get our alert set down here, 130.64. We can wait to see if price plays out that way. So also to anyone in here, if you have any questions for Luke, he is with us. So if there's anything you want him to answer, then he can hop on over. Our star guest for the day. And if anyone's here from the Learning Lounge, let us know. It's nice to know who it is that is here supporting us and which regular friendly faces we have. And if you are enjoying it, make sure to actually like the stream, just because it helps get us out there. And obviously every view, every like, every subscription helps us in the journey. And anybody who has been sticking around, it's highly appreciated, because the average view duration for everybody is very high this time round. So it's nice to see that a lot of you are joining and sticking in, which is always good to see. Again, if you're in here and you have any questions or any markets you want us to take a look at, make sure to let us know. There's a couple of markets we're looking at. Pretty much just got our alert set, waiting for price to do what it's going to do. As of right now, though, there's no immediate thing that's playing out. So this is the gold trade we see on screen that Luke placed himself and told or showed the VIP chat that he was placing. I believe partials were taken when we were in peak profit, which I believe was 6. I want to say 6%, 3RR. Yeah. Was that what it was?
Yeah. Just under 6.5.
Perfect stuff.
And then Great British Pound AUD as well. That looks to be taking its next leg up potentially.
Let's take a look. Let's take a gander. Yeah, quite a nice reversal actually. Inside of our last sell to buy. It'd be very nice if it plays now.
I think there's good potential there for take profits here. Obviously it's a fair way away, right? But let's see why not.
Once it comes to it, you can just partial 58% your position at a nice profit, and then
leave the rest to run, isn't it?
Yeah, and then who knows? Maybe in a week's time you'll be walking away with stacks. I believe I actually had some analysis that can be sent through. I never did. It'll be on desktop. Oh shit. Don't spill over the coffee. Yeah, that's the analysis. So just send this through into the VIP chat, the outlooks that we have on Euro to US dollar, so we can inform everybody what our overall bias is. Okay, back to what we're looking at. In terms of this market, have a gander. Potential unmitigated region there, which we may be able to see price trade down into right here. Demand. So I'm going to make a wild prediction. This isn't getting placed, but this is a wild prediction. Of this. Which we can watch just as a fun little game to see how it plays out. This is not how I trade, but it is just a fun thing to do every now and then. Where's the, so the sell to buy starts exactly there. Everybody who is watching and is enjoying it, make sure that you like the video just to help us get out there. It's highly appreciated if that is the case. Just trying to get the LAGFX channel out there much more, because trying our best to provide a lot of free content, a lot of free educational stuff that people can hopefully use to advance their own careers and gain a real insight into what it takes to trade the Forex markets, rather than following all this false conceptualizations that are given to you through different social media sites. Also, anyone else who has subbed, as an extra few subscribers we've gained since being in the stream, so we appreciate that. Anybody who is watching and wants to ask any questions or wants to give us a market to potentially look at, then please do. Once again, to anyone who is sticking around, it's highly, highly appreciated. Currently just playing the waiting game, waiting for the markets to deliver in certain ways. As I stated, in this market, I could tell that price wasn't ready to reverse. So we've got the alert set there, waiting for price to make a leg lower, just to see what it then does. Euro USD, has that begun to trade us back down? That's one thing we can look at. But again, anyone new, make sure to say hello. Taking a look at this. Okay, yeah, you see the price has disregarded that first one. And Kevin, appreciate you joining the Learning Lounge if you're still here. Make sure that if I load this up on the screen so you can see exactly what it is I'm talking about. Make sure you click on here, and then you've got all of this content. So photos, and if we go to the bottom, if it loads, there we go. We've got plenty of educational content in here. Also a lot of past analysis, more educational content. A lot of past analysis that you can look at and try to gain some insight into how we trade. There's over a year's worth content in here. On top of that, you'll see that over time there is a lot of analysis that is explained step by step. There are a lot of posts that put through that again are educational based content. So definitely worth getting onto that and looking through. That is just photos. We've also got some videos in there. Lots of different files. So fundamental breakdowns, 3 PDFs that our broker AxiTrader have given us. And then when we scroll down, you've got what is Forex PDF, and there's a few other ones somewhere in here. more fundamental reports. They're somewhere. But if you just look through all of this, there is a lot of content that you can get onto. We'll get rid of that. Also, just check how the Euro Australian, is it that market? It was not. It was this one. Okay, I'll check it out after live. Perfect. And also we can see that from that prediction I made where it tapped into that zone, it seems like price is taking off higher. We're pretty much already in 3RR from where I placed that. But Kevin, appreciate the support you're giving us here. Yeah, it's worthwhile looking through that. And the other good thing about being in the learning lounge is that we do have some regular giveaways, some of which give you the opportunity to win access to the VIP chat for a certain amount of time, just so you can gain an insight. If not, and the VIP chat is something you're interested in, then just head over to our website and there's more information on that and other courses we have. Even one that I have made that is pretty much designed just to cover everything there is to know with smart money concepts. Yeah, we can see here now price is playing at 4RR already. So if anybody managed to capitalize on that, very well done.
I'm looking to hopefully trade Euro. What are you looking at? Euro?
Pound Australian, the one that you've got a position on.
Oh, what you? Oh, to re-enter. Did you re-enter?
No, I had a look when you mentioned it, and we were saying how it reacted to this level. And then I said I'm going to make a wild prediction here and say that is the lasso that needs mitigating. I did it for 4 minutes ago, and it's already in 4.5 RR in 4 minutes. It's crazy. Smart money concepts. It's insane.
I think this is going to be a really good trade, and I could see it going a lot higher.
Yeah.
I'd love to see final take profit target be hit, to be honest with you, because I am wanting to see price come up to this region before taking its next leg down. Because overall the structure of the market is bearish.
Yeah.
So we want to be sellers into the market. So those are the areas that I have higher up. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah, I actually did a top down on this a while back. You just wanted to trade it up to like the previous market high, I guess.
Yeah, to be safe, and then there are areas within that to look to be sellers into the market. I'm looking to sell into Euro AUD, and I'm looking to sell into USD CAD as well. I've got a Fibonacci box drawn out on both.
Yeah.
Marking the swing lows and highs.
Right.
Just waiting for some sign of displacement within the market.
Yeah.
And confirmation of a reversal.
I don't know how much that's going to mess up. I can't wait. I can't see live what I'm on about. Just open OBS. That's way too low. It's about perfect now. That is about perfect. But again, if anybody managed to enter in on this trade on screen, pound Australian, 5RR in about 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's nice. I suppose that's the beauty of understanding where price needs to tap into before taking its next leg up or down, isn't it?
So as stated, Kevin, this is pretty much all you need to do. If you're trying to work your way down the time frames, is I'm sure you would have done something similar had this have been the 1 hour or the 1 day time frame. We're just doing it on the 5 or the 15 second. I think too many people just overcomplicate the lower time frames and think it's like this completely different game or different genre, but it's just the same thing. Hopefully.
Because it's only been up 2 hours and it's already got 1,500 views.
We like it. Very much so. Time 3:20. Okay, so that's going to be the next zone that we could potentially see reaction to. Not confirmed, but just analysing what's happening. It's tough because when we're on the 5 second, there are going to be some gaps in the market, so it makes it difficult to fully understand where things are and what's happened. Honestly, I have 2 regions that I quite like the look of. Although I believe that we can argue price. I think we're going to stick with that one. Just to see what price does moving forward. So everybody who is new in here, make sure to say hello, or if you have any questions about who we are, what we're doing, about any analysis, any markets, let us know. If there's any pairs that you would like us to potentially have a look at and analyse, then just ask away in the chat and we'll take a look. And as always, plug in the socials, check the description, because to be honest, there is just such a vast range of content and education across all platforms that we're based on. And I think that if you seriously are wanting to learn either one of our strategies, obviously you don't have to do it the exact same we do, but just taking away little things and then twisting that or spinning that to be your own strategy. So just make sure you are following us on the different platforms. I'd say the most important ones being YouTube and TikTok. That's probably where the best content goes, just because YouTube, obviously we get to actually sit and give you a full 30-minute video, so we can go more in depth, whereas Instagram is obviously a lot more written, so it's not the same engagement. Let's have a look at dollar yen as well, just to see how that's played out since. Playing rather strange, if we're being honest. So we won't concern ourselves too much with that. Also take a look at this one, see what's happening with it. It seems like price could have actually reacted to a nice little sell to buy in there, where we see those 2 wicks meet. Although it doesn't seem like it has introduced a whole load of demand. And make sure everybody who is in here, if you like the stream, that is very, very helpful to us, as it just helps get it out there and get more people in. So if so, it's always helpful, or the poll that you'll see on the screen. If you vote in that as well, it just lets us know that you are active, you are watching, you are enjoying it. Or if you have any feedback, constructive criticism, we're more than open to that as well. We're new to streaming, so any feedback and any tips are highly appreciated, because we are always looking to improve, and I think it's stubborn to think that you're doing everything right and not take feedback on board. So obviously feel free to do so. And everyone, if you're watching this now, please just type hello in the chat, or anything, just as I want to see who is in here, and which people are supporting us as of right now. It's always nice to see. LAGFX, we have another regular. We've seen you in quite a few streams now. Kyoto, another regular. That's 2 people in here. We like it, we like it. Anybody else in here, make sure to say hello. Loving the stream. Glad you're enjoying it so far. If you were able to capitalize on this as well that we're looking at, obviously the dollar yen that we're just looking at fell through. There wasn't enough demand in the market to continue the move we're looking at, but this trade, however, has played out and is holding in, I'd say, at least 4 RR as of current. Just watching whilst I work, that's great. Even just lurking, the views, support regardless of what form, is highly appreciated. It seems like some of these live streams are starting to get a bit of attention now, starting to get a nice amount of views, so we appreciate everybody who is enjoying them. It just provides a nice insight. And to those of you who also watch and end up subscribing, that is also very, very nice. Managed to get in on Great British Pound, Australian Dollar. Got Luke's original entry as well as your refined one. Wow, so profits for you today, Kyoto, will be through the roof, I believe. I'm not sure what it was as of right now, but I know it is peak. Luke's ran 8%, so you could have closed at 8% there. This, as of right now, is running 5 RR, so potential 10% there, so that's 18% you could have made on this market alone, which is one thing to think about. You know, the market has actually, if we just look, so today, the last week, the market has moved for 0.4%, yet we've been able to make 18% back from that 0.4%. So just a reminder that day trading isn't investing as such. We are capitalizing on tiny little swings. Managed to make just short of 14% on pound Australian. Wow, that is insane. In one day, or should we say within what, 6 hours?
Really, yeah.
2% an hour. Imagine, you're not getting that anywhere else. So this zone is invalidated. Price is putting a new high. Let's keep an eye on what he's doing. Actually see a reaction from there. And again there at its peak, we ran 6.5 IRR, so many opportunities to close in nice profit. The power of smart money, it's insane, Kevin. It really is. That's the thing. Obviously, I like to take partials and manage my risk accordingly, but had you just place this and let it run, there is potential, my voice is going. There is potential for 25% on this trade alone, which is literally gaining back a quarter of your account size. So if you're trading with six figures, let's say you had a $100,000 account on your FDMO, potential to make 25,000. I believe you get to keep 70-80% of that, so that's already 20 grand you could have profited from in the day. So yeah, as stated, the power of smart money is insane. Another reaction from a zone that we have drawn out. We'll see if price breaks a high to confirm that it was a full reaction. If so, then this market is honestly on fire today with the opportunities been provided. Love it. Yeah, we've broken a high, so another reaction. So that's two potential entries we could have had in the last 20 minutes. Obviously this zone was invalidated, never got tapped before price continued higher. But it does appear that price is starting to run out of steam ever so slightly, evident by the fact that the impulses are shallower and the retracements are deeper. But we shall see. That now leaves us running at a 7-1. So that's 7 RR return already on this trade. Potential for 14% there if you risk 2, or 7% if you risk 1. And that's a great thing. Within 20 minutes, we have 7 RR returns. Obviously, these opportunities don't present themselves every single day or every single hour, but when they do, it's just finding the correct time and the correct way to capitalize.
Yeah, we can get a high of that was created prior, then that would be good. That would confirm longer term bullishness.
See what price does from here. There's no clear zone to me that price may react to, so we'll just let it do its thing and see where it does. Where it goes, what it does. Hopefully end up at these highs. So just being patient, letting price play. Let's sort of check back on couple of the markets whilst we're here. Dollar yen, wow, that was perfect timing. It's literally just approaching the point of interest we had highlighted. Validation of the zone right there, impulse wave higher. This being our other point of interest that we want to watch in order to continue with the bullishness we are seeing. But let's see what happens here. Now we're holding in this zone. I'm just going to be patient here. See if we sort of get any liquidity built and cleared any major displacements. Just want to see some bearishness implemented into the market. Okay, so we are definitely seeing some hesitation in this region, which is always nice. Still not enough entry confirmation for me. I don't like being too aggressive inside of these points, but the one thing we do like is potentially the fact that what's happened here is we created a high, created a low, which comes to break the previous low. So we could have argued that we've had this very fractal displacement and move higher. If we see price now reverse or somewhere within the last sell to buy of this, that could be promising, but that's extremely fractal, and when we are that fractal, it can be broken very easily. So not relying on that playing out, but just an idea. I'm liking the way that we are pushing up and down and up and down. As very good. It just marks consolidation and liquidity creation within the zone, which is very nice to see. We've just got to hope that as of right now, we're having a battle between supply and demand. We just want to see demand come out dominant and come out on top, which would be evident by any sort of displacements and whatnot. It's not confirmed that demand will win, but definitely what we'd like to see. Another alert pinged. I can't remember why I set that, but we'll check. That must have been the other day. Okay, so we're seeing some clear liquidity creation. Be nice now to see a spring get created, clear said liquidity, come back up to display, so potentially see something along these lines, and then we'd look to get in after the displacement, potentially somewhere within demand zone, and then price to take off. Or price does exactly what it's done there and invalidates the zone. In which case, I did not realise I still had the brush tool. We could potentially be seeing price now come to mitigate the actual last sell to buy, which is this zone all the way down here. Although I think it's very unlikely for us to do this because we never usually see price react to a zone this low within an impulse wave higher, especially not after a reaction to a higher time frame point of interest. The other thing that helps me believe that this should be bullish is because price doesn't exactly come up to mitigate anything important. We do actually get that displacement, so it doesn't hold structure, whereas it could have reacted somewhere in here to contain the bearishness. It has shown some signs of wanting to go bullish, so we'll set another alert just to see if price reacts. 135.4. Although it does seem to be playing out rather strange. This price action isn't what I would have ideally liked to see. But regardless, the markets aren't always going to do what you'd like, and you just have to find ways to deal with that. Pretty blunt, but straight to the point. Price is reacting to some higher time frame point of interest, evidently. I did this analysis a while ago, so I don't fully remember exactly what's happening. Okay. So the zone left unmitigated up here. Although there is some liquidity there, so we could also see price want to react to this zone. Point of interest. Okay. Let's see what this market's saying. Very nice, very nice. The only region I can see this reacting to is down here. I mean, to me, that is the only valid or logical thing they may want to react to. But we can evidently see that demand is starting to get slightly exhausted fractally, so we may need a correctional wave in the scheme of this entire fractal move higher. Which we could see a mitigation of anywhere, really. It appears that zone's been mitigated, so the only real region would potentially be this one that we had an invalidation of. Everything gets mitigated quite nicely otherwise. But we shall see. We'll see exactly what price does and how it plays. Coming up to 2 hours now on the live. If you have been enjoying, please leave the feedback, let us know. And if you have been able to capitalize, then we hope you enjoy the profits. Okay, an alert there on dollar yen. Let's see how price is reacting. Wow, instantly blew through, so we need to try and see what this means in terms of our higher time frame bias. Potentially a wider scheme retracement at this point, which does make sense. I didn't think that was what would happen given the fact that we had a displacement and showed signs of reversals, but obviously it was just a liquidity sweep, and because we weren't delivered any entry confirmation in the lower two zones, we didn't enter those. But we now understand what our bias is saying. We've broken this low, so we know that we're potentially now looking to go bearish. And then when we ask ourselves where are we going to go bearish to, it's definitely a good question. This zone isn't fully invalidated, but I'm making an early assumption that it will become fully invalidated. So I'd probably want to go to the higher time frames just to view inside of this region, get rid of anything that isn't important. Okay. Very efficient price action down here where we see a lot of things end up getting mitigated. That is one major region that hasn't been mitigated, so it's definitely something to keep our eye on. Continuing, a lot of efficient structure still. Yeah, that gets mitigated. So this is pretty much, in my eyes, the only position left that needs to get mitigated. So we'll keep an eye on that one. That's going to be a bit longer term though. I can't imagine that playing out anytime soon. So patience is going to be a virtue with that one. Remind ourselves of what's happening across the board. Okay, now we can go check back on this market just to see what's happening. Okay, yeah, wider scheme retracement as we were somewhat expecting, given the way that the supply and demand balance was playing out. So this zone invalidated. Now the only real region lower that we could expect to get mitigated in my eyes is this. So if that gets broken, I'm not too sure therefore where price will go or what price may want to do. But we'll just keep an eye and see what happens. Again, if anyone has any questions, make sure to send them through. Currently now just waiting for things to play out on this market just to see what happens. It's pretty much all we can do at the moment is just wait. And or try to understand what price is doing and what it's telling us. Let's just set an alert just so we ensure we don't actually miss this. 7612. Only 8 pips away. Just to see if price does react here. This is probably the only zone that I'd like to see price react to. So pretty much the only one that holds the relevance I would like to see it hold. Price is getting there, it's slowly trading in. Let's see if it holds the reversal power necessary, aka does it introduce enough demand to outweigh the supply that's currently in the market and therefore cause a reversal. But we shall see. Okay, price is about to tap. Let's see exactly how it plays out instantly. Wow. Within a millisecond, it's blown through. So, good job we don't use pending orders. Okay, let's see what this means then for the market. is it going to start running bearish? If so, where would we like to see it mitigate? Even lower. Potentially that region. Yeah, I mean,
Just great which one do?
yeah.
I've moved this elsewhere anyway.
See how it plays. No guff out. Casual stuff. Okay, let's change up the music slightly. What have we got here? Wow. Let's have a look at this. The mute is going to give us adverts, which we don't want to hear. Anybody who is new into the stream, say hello in the chat, just so we know who's watching. This was a trade we were looking at. So we took a partial at, I think that was around 2RR. Let's double check. Exactly 3RR. So partial at 3RR. And obviously price still hasn't technically touched entry or the stop. Okay, this is pretty much the exact same music we were listening to. Great. Let's try switching up again. I mean, that can do. Again, anybody who's in here, if you have any questions, let us know. Or any markets you'd like us to take a look at, more than happy to do so. As we are pretty much just currently waiting for price to play out a certain way. As that is pretty much all we can do at the moment. Is be patient. We could see price displace here. I don't believe there was any positions down here that needed mitigating, but we could be wrong. Regardless. Okay. Oh, this is also good. Price is holding just above currently, as it is with that. Okay, let's look for a potential cap here, though it doesn't look likely. Highlight that, and now just waiting. These two markets are trading relatively close towards potential points of interest, so keeping an eye on them. Let's also go back to check this market, which doesn't appear to be doing a whole lot as of current. What exactly is this line representing? What should have been the final target? So yeah, we have surpassed the final target there. Which I believe makes it fairly likely for price to put in place a correctional wave. Which we ask ourselves, where exactly may that be? We have a few zones highlighted, but each of which holding relevance. Actually a lot of zones, so definitely a lot of liquidity that could be run here. Thank you to everyone who is voting on the poll and leaving likes on the stream. Just helps us understand if you are enjoying what you're seeing, and also helps us get out there a bit more, so it's all highly appreciated. But yeah, as of right now, we just wait. Not much going on. I feel like the volatility is starting to die down. We are approaching 4 PM, so the London session is pretty much about to close, and we're going to run into the New York session, or the back end of the New York session. So the overlap is pretty much done. Volatility is running low. Trading opportunities are not as plentiful, so we'll probably look to wrap this up soon enough. I think we've had a nice browse over the markets, seen some different opportunities. But yeah, if there's any final questions or anything that anybody wants to say before we do look to wrap it up, then now is your chance. If not, we will be live again throughout the week. Looking to do at least 2 or 3 live sessions a week if possible. No set days for them, but just keep your eye out. Make sure you subscribed. Make sure you have the notification bell on, just so that you actually get a notification through on your phone or on your laptop when we go live. And then you'll be obviously reminded of these streams, and you can look to come and analyze and trade the markets alongside me. Okay, so it seems like there isn't any remaining questions, so we will look to conclude the stream here. So thank you everybody who has watched or is currently watching. Highly appreciated, and we will see you the next time for session number 6. Can't believe we've done that many already. But yeah, make sure to get involved. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.